Hey friends, Donovan Bankhead here with Ernie Williamson and Trumpet Thoughts, and wanted to just share a quick thought that I had. I was working with a student that was in the store, and to be clear, when I say working with a student, I don't mean like teaching private lessons because I don't really do that. But just he's a high school student, and he had been in the store, and they actually live in Texas, but they were driving through, so he and his dad and his family. His dad's also a trumpet player, super nice folks, by the way, and they watch the channel. So Jeff, you guys probably know I'm talking about you, Jeff and Chase. And we were talking about something specifically. And this kid, he's a student. He's a freshman in high school in Texas. And he was talking about how like he'd been really working on his sound, and he used to have like he thought his sound was bad previously, and so he's been working on getting a good sound. And they were wanting these really big mouthpieces to try to just get this rich, dark, deep, sonorous sound, because that's what he thought he wanted. And I gave them my opinion of like, hey, I will sell you whatever you want. I will help you get whatever you want. But if you want my opinion, I think you're going the wrong direction. I think sound is overrated. Yep, I said it. I know that's going to be a controversial statement. I think sound's overrated. Here's why. First of all, we'll just, for the sake of this discussion, let's just rule out like jazz players, okay? Because if you're a jazz player, as long as you're in tune, damn near any sound you can make, people have made great music with it. So, the quality of sound varies everywhere and all over the place in jazz, and everyone's made wonderful music with all types of sounds. So we'll just eliminate the jazz players, and let's just focus only on the classical players. So I think focusing on the sound to the exclusion of everything else is really pointless. Now, I think that because most of us are not going to be the Jens Lindemans and the Hakan Hardenbergers of the world, where we're called to just play trumpet solos in front of the world for our careers. That's not what we're doing. Most of us as trumpet players, we're playing in ensembles. We're playing in brass ensembles. We're playing in chamber orchestras. Maybe you're lucky enough to get a big-time orchestra gig. You're playing in pits. You're playing in something like that. You're playing with other musicians. And as long as you have a decent sound, that's going to be fine once you're mixed in with all the other musicians. You could have the best trumpet sound in the world, and the minute you're mixed in with everyone else, your sound just becomes part of the harmonic fabric. You can't hear your specific sound. And one might think, right, but it contributes to it. I guess it does, but honestly, guys, your sound's lost. It's hard to hear your tone at that point. If your tone's terrible, it'll go through. If your tone doesn't blend, it'll go through. But beyond that, your sound is part of the sonic fabric, and doesn't matter if it's 40% richer than mine. It's just going to be part of the sound of the ensemble. So what's more important is that you have a decent sound, but that you have adequate technique for the music being called for, which in most of the professional playing I've done, most of the technique, I have plenty of technique. I almost never run into a situation where I don't have enough technique for something. Frankly, the only time it really ever happens is when I play with the Arkansas Music Works British style brass band. That's where I have to like bust out my technique. But I almost always have plenty of technique. Studying trumpet through college, technique's not the problem. The number one thing, accuracy, range, and endurance. And if I had to even narrow those down, accuracy, reading ability, actually I should add that, and endurance. Those are the things you need more than anything. So if you want to put something at the top of your trumpet pyramid and you want to be a professional player, you got to be able to read your ass off, you got to be accurate, and you got to have good endurance. Those are infinitely more important than having the God's gift to trumpet sound, trumpet tone. You got to have that. If you can have all that and have a great trumpet sound, good for you. That's super nice. And don't choose your equipment to just give you what you think is the optimum, lush, gorgeous sound at the expense of range, endurance, and accuracy. And that's what my high school friend was making the mistake of doing. So we switched him back to a smaller diameter mouthpiece and a reasonable cup. He picked up a Lotus 7L, and which is like a high quality, what a 7C should be. basically, with a number 2 back bore, which is a little tighter back bore. And yeah, the sound wasn't as rich and full and deep as the 2XL that he wanted to play, but he could play his full range with that better, way better than he had. Several extra notes on that than he had on the other. And he had a characteristic trumpet sound that wasn't dull like it could be on those bigger mouthpieces that were just too big for him for this stage of development, maybe for any stage of development. But he had a nice, focused, characteristic trumpet sound that he could have good endurance, good accuracy, and good range with. So that's my thought on that. Do you agree or disagree? Let me know. Now, I might be wrong. I reserve the right to change my mind. But after all my years of experience doing that, I'm pretty sure that's the way to do it. And if you were coming to me, wanted me to help you fit you for a mouthpiece or a trumpet or something like that, that'd be the advice I'd give you. So anyway, hope that helps. Thanks for watching. Take care.